Smash Acquaintances!
Hey buddies, welcome to Super Smash Acquaintances. I'm your host, Adman Abu. Today we'll be interviewing Austin, my best friend. The goal of this show is to prove interview by interview that everybody loves video games. Now let's set some ground rules. Austin chose Super Smash Bros. For Wii U. 3 stocks with any character, any stage, and all items. Let's go! So who's your favorite Smash Bros. Character?
Ever since the first Smash Bros. Game, I've always really liked Link. Really, it's just because I've always really liked swords, and Link is the only character who's always got a sword. And it's just awesome. And I was just like how he handled, even when my one friend who could beat everybody when he was Fox, I could still beat him when I was Link in the first game. And I feel like he's just gotten better and better through every one of the games, and he's like my main now. That being said, I also really like Charizard, well, because he's a dragon. He's got some speed, he's got some power, and he can fly a little bit. He's like one of the only characters that can do all those kinds of things. And then also, I really enjoy using Bowser Jr., but specifically Roy, because he's got like the cool sunglasses. It's really awesome. I have somebody else, it's Greninja, but I didn't quite remember that, and I think it's because the last time I used him, I kind of really got my ass kicked. Just didn't do very well, but he's like the newest character, so that's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it.
So what's your favorite type of game?
It's difficult because I play lots of different types of games, and I always have. And it's kind of funny because we're playing Super Smash Brothers, and I like fighting games, but they're probably kind of lower on the list of the types of games I like. Because I think to really enjoy a fighting game the most, you have to play it with other people. It's not always easy, to have somebody that you can play a game with, and so you just don't I never ended up playing fighting games as often as other types of games. I would say I really enjoy playing RPGs because they're always a good adventure type of thing, and not necessarily the most taxing of gameplay. It's something you can just sit down and really experience good story and an interestingly developed world without overworking yourself. Type of thing. Really fun to play by yourself. One type of game that I'm always going to be known for is playing Dance Dance Revolution.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
And it's great because it's one of the few things that you could still call yourself a gamer and get exercise for, and no one could say you weren't, because that was always intense. And I loved playing those games. Something I always liked, a type of game I always like to kind of wind down with almost, because they're really mindless but still just a lot of fun. Whatever people want to say about them is like a fun first-person shooter, and I like more fanciful ones like say Halo, because you're fighting more like monsters and things, and I don't really like games where you fight other people with guns. That's not my type of thing. The games I enjoy playing the most are, and I hate the term to use, but it's hard to think of anything else to say, like the action-adventure-y type ones, like RPGs, like say Zelda. Those types of games, and more recently I was playing the Dark Souls games, and those, some kind of grand adventure like that, fantasy type world. I really enjoy those type of games. What would you call? Yeah, I hate,
Zelda.
Yeah, basically.
You like Zelda.
Basically,
yeah.
Yeah,
I like Zelda.
I'd probably like the games that 8-bit too, but...
What games and systems are you playing right now?
Well, I'm playing my Wii U a lot. Of course, Smash Brothers, that goes without saying.
Yeah.
But also, I've really enjoyed Hyrule Warriors because I've always been a big fan of all the Dynasty Warriors series. We like to call them Kill the Red Guys.
Kill the Red Guys!
There's red guys in that. You just gotta kill all of them.
Kill the Red Guys, yeah.
It's just been a lot of fun playing that. I've been playing my 3DS a lot because I just really enjoy it. And I've recently picked up Fire Emblem Awakening because I haven't played a Fire Emblem game a lot since the one on GameCube, and I've been really enjoying that. I still have my Pokemon Omega Ruby from time to time, but I'm mostly just doing my Pokemon breeding in that. I don't know, people think it's kind of weird, but I enjoy it. They made it a lot easier, and it makes it so you can get really cool, powerful versions of your favorite Pokemon. I recently, on my phone, I've been avoiding games on mobile phones for a good long time, but I recently picked up Puzzles and Dragons again. It's like my version of Candy Crush, and I'm not spending any money on it or anything. I just had that fix I wanted, and I'm only going to be playing it until the version for 3DS comes out, and then I'll just play that version for the whole time. Just from time to time. I'm still playing my Xbox 360 a little bit because I really enjoyed Dark Souls and Dark Souls 2 when I played it, and I just get the urge to play those again from every time to time.
So what's a fond gaming memory from growing up?
I feel kind of blessed to think that I've had a lot of really good gaming memories, but one I particularly enjoy is just the fact that there was a group of people that I hung out with, and it was just like my stepsister, her cousin, and a friend of the family, and we would hang out all the time, and we actually played so many different things, because just any multiplayer games that we had. But it was interesting because it was when the Xbox had just come out, and they had like a weird, their version of Mario Party type of game that we played a lot. We played a lot of Halo because it had just come out. There was a Dead or Alive game that we could tag team on so all 4 people could play. And it was fun because it was like my sister's cousin was a little older than 10. I was just about my early teens, and she was a couple of years older, and then the family friend was like in his early 20s, and it was just fun because we were all different, but we all got to bond and come together over all these different video games.
So what game stuck with you this past year?
Probably the game that stuck with me the most was Shovel Knight. It was just such a wonderful experience. I loved Mega Man when I was growing up on the Nintendo, and it doesn't only feel like Mega Man, it feels like so many of those older titles, but highly polished. You know, the gameplay is so smooth and intuitive. It was just a beautifully designed game, and telling the story through the actions is simple, and it was just deeper than what I expected, and it was probably the most fun I had playing a game the entire year. I also really enjoyed Dark Souls 2. I mean, it's fun in a different way. I mean, there were certain similarities. I find myself dying a lot in both games, and then fighting to get back the stuff you left behind after you die. But, I mean, Shovel Knight, it felt... Well, no, I guess they really were more similar than I think. The obstacles I had to overcome in each situation were a little bit different. But Dark Souls, you know, fighting all the giant things and killing all the huge amounts of enemies, and then Shovel Knight getting through the death traps of all the platforms. It's interesting how tough games can turn you into a bit of a gaming masochist. And the thing that stuck with me the most, gaming-wise otherwise, is not just necessarily a game itself, but the breeding in Pokemon. They made it so easy, but since it was easy, it was a lot easier to just get really overly invested in. Before I knew it, I was breeding myself an entire team of perfect Pokemon, and now I'm just like, every time I pick up Pokemon, I just go into steadily breeding all of the perfect Pokemon as much as I can. But always starting with the ones that I think look the coolest.
What's your favorite game of all time?
Final Fantasy X.
Thanks for watching our show. You can find me, Adman Abu, at AdventureBuddy01 on Twitter.
And me, Austin, at ALearnedMan00.
We'll see you around.